haven't done a video in a long time, and that's what I planned on starting to do. And life happened, basically, is all I can say is life happened, and that changed, and I have like so much stuff to talk about, and that's why I'm doing a video, because I can't type this much stuff up. It's so much stuff, and it's also like it's really hard for me to do this. Like, doing videos is hard because you have to try to communicate it in the way that you need to, and then you have to rewatch yourself over and over again and like try not to pick at yourself and all the flaws that you have on your face and whatever. And you have to listen to your voice, which whatever, you have to listen to yourself like over and over and over again. And this is so hard for me. I know it doesn't seem like it, but it is. Like, that's why I never did anything with singing. People who know me know that I can sing. I never did anything with it because I don't like attention like that. I don't like that people can like rewatch something and rehear me mess up or whatever over and over and over again. And with dancing, I could like tune people out. Like, that's why I went so far with dancing, because I could tune people out, so I could tap into that side of myself, which is a performer, a creative person, without feeling like, I don't know, people are staring at me or something. I don't like it. Anyways, here I am to give you a bunch of messages that I received for myself that I know that you guys need as well. But this is like a really long story that's going to connect a lot of stuff, so bear with me, I guess, because it's gonna seem like tangent-y, but these are all gonna connect. Just wait and see. So 2 days ago, my heart started hurting. I thought, that's weird, like maybe I slept weird. Like, sometimes I'll sleep in the fetal position, I'll like crunch my shoulders together, like maybe I really pissed my body off if I did that or something, right? So I'm like, okay, maybe I like slept weird, like what is that? I tried to ignore it. I went out, so like I woke up and this was like starting. So then after that, I like tried to ignore it. I went outside to get some exercise, and it was still hurting. And I remembered my meditation teacher, Scott McKennis. You need to see him if you haven't. His lessons, and that in order to release pain, it has to be acknowledged and processed first. So I asked, what should I know about the ache, the pain here? I immediately thought about Oscar. He is my twin flame, and I have been in what's called soul shock since he passed away in April. A twin flame is a type of soulmate. It's one soul that splits into two to experience duality on Earth. But both sides have to learn to mirror their highest and best selves in order to end up together, to be together. They both have to elevate to their highest selves in order to to finally be together. And they'll incarnate for lifetimes until they get it right, so they can finally be together. When twin flames are separated, they always long for each other. They almost feel homesick without one another, without being in contact or being close to one another. And they know they know when each other are thinking about each other. It's like they just have like this telepathic communication. And I always wondered what he was doing. I always missed him, and all these years I wondered if we would ever be able to be together. Shitty circumstances in this lifetime made it basically impossible to ever be together, especially after we became divided and in 2 different countries. And then also because I've been in a serious relationship for 10 years. The night that he passed away, I was thinking so much about him. And I was wondering, like, if we would ever be able to figure out how to be together. I was, like, thinking so hard about it. I was thinking, like, how I could make something work. Like, how could I, like, move to Mexico? Like, how could I do that? Like, I was like, I'm gonna do it, and I'll adapt, or I'll save money, and I'll figure out how to get us, like, somewhere else, like, to a different island or somewhere, like, anything. Like, I don't care what I had to do. Like, I just wanted to, like, be happy to be with him. And, like, after, you know, all this, like, COVID shit, it was just, like, nothing really matters. Like, that sounds so weird, but, like, nothing really matters. Like, everything is so temporary, and we've gotten so caught up in, like, material bullshit, and I just started to really question, like, why things, like, went the way that they did, and, like, how could I figure out how to be with him? And I was, like, you know, thinking, like, maybe, like, someday, like, when we're, like, older, like, a lot older, maybe, like, we would be able to figure out a way to be together or something, you know, like, I just always would, like, think about him and wonder about him and why things were so hard for us, like, why we weren't able to be together. I was, like, flooded with memories of us and his smile, his curly black hair, his laugh, the way his hands looked, the way his fingers looked. I'll never forget that. Like, I always remember just the way his hands looked. I don't know why. Like, I'll never forget the way his hands looked when they were intertwined with mine. The next morning, I saw the news from his little sister on Facebook. As soon as I saw it, I was like, no. Sorry, fuck. This can't happen. No. I've never felt heartache like that in my life. I sobbed to the point that I threw up. I remember I got enough strength to go out for a walk to try to, like, I don't know, get my mind off of it, like that could happen. And I just sobbed on and off throughout the whole walk for a couple of days. I woke up every morning and I started to sob. I've cried for, like, so long, guys. I can't even believe I have tears left to even cry. For weeks I would cry on and off. And my last big episode was a few weeks ago. A little more than that, when Mercury retrograde started. I sobbed myself into a panic attack. I was like, how spirit talks to me is through music sometimes, and like he sent me a song. This is what is known as soul shock. I can't even talk about it. Oh my god. It's an overwhelming devastation that takes two souls by storm when they're separated. It's an intense pain that has the capability of shattering their spirit. I've just never felt that kind of pain before. So, that happened and really sent me into like a spin. My whole life just like flipped upside down. So back to 2 days ago. I thought the heartache that I was experiencing must have to do with my literal heartache. I have been so worried and feeling so guilty ever since this happened that all those years I missed Oscar, that maybe Egan and I weren't meant to be. And a lot of feelings of self-worth came up for me, that I'm a difficult, complex person, and that I should just be alone, and that Egan deserves better, way better. All of this came up as soon as I sat with the pain, and I asked what I needed to learn from it. As soon as I was like, am I supposed to let him go? Maybe he isn't meant for me. I heard in Oscar's voice, that's not true. And then the song I dedicated to Egan started to play. The message was loud and clear. Love is expansive. Love is expansive. It's possible to have a deep divine love with more than one person. I felt so relieved that I could check my relationship off the list, because obviously it's important to me. It's just my life has been so confusing. It was so nice to have such a clear message that I was just so happy I could check my relationship off the list of what do I need to get rid of. And that wasn't one of them. So what also had been weighing heavy on me is to try to figure out what needs to die in my life in order for the things to come in that I've been asking for. So I was trying to solve it. And I was busy cleaning, doing laundry, and like deep thinking. And when I bent over at one point, the heartache came in so hard. It hurt so bad. And I was bent over when it happened, so it was like I had to take my time to slowly stand back up, because it knocked the wind out of me. That's how bad it hurt. It was this I can't even explain it. And when I stood back up, I coughed super hard. And of course I was like, oh no, do I have the virus? I paused with the pain and I was like, is this my lungs? Like, what is that? You know, it was like right here. It was like, is this my lungs? Like, I was like, no, it's on the left side, which is my heart. So I was like, am I having a heart attack? And I was like, my body's trying to get me to listen. I know I need to let go, but of what? I just knew that Jupiter and Pluto were in conjunction like 2 weeks before that, so I knew that I needed to be, mindful of what I was manifesting. And then I knew that day, 2 days ago, Mars and Chiron were conjunct. But that's all that I really knew. So I kept thinking about how I know that letting go of insecurity was what was truly stopping me. For months I've been beating myself up about how I struggle to believe in my ability to be a spiritual leader and teacher. I kept going over why I'm lacking confidence for weeks and for months. Like, why I kept going over, why am I lacking confidence? I would say these things. I'd be like, I'm too young, I don't have a degree, certificate, credentials for people to trust me. What do I really know at 27? I'm still learning my gifts. I'm still studying astrology and other things. I don't know everything. Haha, like duh, you never will. But I was doing all of this and I was like still beating myself up, and even someone close to me said, it's sad you can help others, but you can't help yourself. That hurt my ego so bad. I was like, oh my god, she's right. And I guess I can't do this and I shouldn't try. Why am I trying? And so then I'm like, okay, so what am I supposed to do? Like, this is what I studied, my purpose, my whatever, so what am I supposed to do? Because I can't do this. Obviously I can't practice what I preach, so and I just kept beating myself up because I was like, after all the energy work I've done, after all the books I've read, the people who have mentored me, all the full moons I have forgiven the same people and situations and tried to change the way I think, change the way I speak in order to be in alignment with the law of attraction and believing in true abundance. And how is it that I am still stuck here? I'm stuck. So the next morning, I woke up with clear messages from my spirit guides that we all needed to remember to focus on manifesting what we want and not accidentally attracting the things that we are all worried about. Because where attention goes, what's the saying? Where attention goes, energy flows. So it's we don't want to accidentally be manifesting our worries because we're focusing more on what we're worried about, what we're having anxiety about, than the things that we actually want, or having these low vibrational thoughts of I can't and I'm not good enough and I'm whatever, not the best, so therefore I can't do these things, A, B, and C. So I woke up with those messages like so very clear, and so I was like, okay, so I need this, everyone needs this, I know everyone needs this with this Mars and Chiron conjunction, where we are really focused on old wounds, childhood wounds, and if we don't want to focus on like how to fix those things, or how to like let go of some of the anger and the pain that we're holding on from those things, we may see health issues start to come. And I knew that I had to be, helping you guys with that, and helping myself as well, and also remembering to manifest the things I want, not the things I don't want. So I woke up with those messages like so clear, and I made graphics and I posted them to my Instagram first, because I was like still being in my low vibrational thoughts of people on Facebook don't even like give a shit what you say. And last week you talked about demons and Luciferians, so now you just look like a fucking crazy person. No one's gonna listen to you. So I was sitting there doing all of that, and later that night, like, I felt so good about those messages. I was like, okay, I'm on the right path. Like, I'm okay. Like, I'm gonna figure this out. I'm on the right path. I'm getting messages. Like, I'm gonna figure this out. So then later that night, I was validated. It was so crazy. But before I tell you how she validated the messages I received, I have to back up to last Saturday. So let's go back to all those low vibrational thoughts that I'm having about myself, and the fact that I felt like people think I'm crazy, and I've always been crazy. And last Saturday I decided to post something that I've been getting messages about since before COVID happened. Right before we got locked in for COVID, I was receiving messages about the child trafficking in dreams, and just like in general, like just weird synchronicities and things I was noticing and putting together. And then something was, I also have another dream that I haven't figured out yet. I'm hoping to get information about that here soon, but it also has to do with this too. So I decided to post about it and make myself look crazy. And I was, having these like low vibrational thoughts, right? And so then I'm sitting at the pool with Frankie, my business partner for my lash business, and I'm like having anxiety all day, and I'm like, I brought it up like I think 3 times that day. I was like, do you think I should delete that post? Like, do you think I should delete that? I'm like sound crazy. Like, I'm already strange. I've always been strange. I've always been so strange. I was like, oh, people aren't gonna listen to me now. Even if I was worried before that people wouldn't listen to my guidance, or like, now they're like, okay, she's crazy. So I was just like, kept asking her, like, do you think I should like delete that? Like, do you think that I like what do I know? Like, what do I know at 27? What do I know? Like, how do I know these things? And like, I just kept doing all this stuff, right? Like, maybe I'm not supposed to do this. Like, maybe, like, I just kept doing all these, like, delete it, you're not good enough, shut up, be quiet, be small. And she was like, what? She was like, just like listening to me and like, what? And then she was like, you woke up and you felt so compelled to post that. You did it for a reason. And as soon as she said that, a golf ball, I live right next to the golf course, came right past my head and hit the fence next to me. It like made the bars go like so loud. I had a near-death experience. And instantly I was like, okay, if I don't pay attention to how clear that message is and was, I'm fucking stupid. I was like, holy shit, that was like crazy. Like, that was crazy. Like, I could have just died. If that would have hit me in the temple, I could have just died. And that all happened right when I was sitting there going, I don't think I should have did that. Like, maybe I shouldn't, speak up about things. Like, maybe I should just be like quiet, small, not seen, not heard. And as soon as that happened, I was like, oh my god, okay, like, I need to listen. And so ever since that happened, like, it helped because I started to be like, all right, I'm on the right path. Like, I need to figure this out. Like, well, how am I going to hone in on this? What am I going to do? I'm supposed to have my spiritual, like, practice. I'm supposed to have my business with my, astro, my metaphysical stuff. This is supposed to happen. I need to figure out how to integrate this in the way that feels comfortable for me. And then go back to what happened the night that it was last night, that I was validated by this spiritual coach. You guys, she described going through the same thing that I went through with the heart pain. She described the same exact feeling of heart pain and coughing, and I was like, someone should just come over and fucking smack me. Like, hello, like, is this not again another like synchronicity, another big sign? I couldn't believe it. I needed to hear her words. She started to explain that feeling of that heart pain and the coughing and worrying about if she was having a heart attack or not. And then she was talking about how she would like was having all these low vibrational thoughts, the same stuff that I was dealing with, where she was like not feeling worthy and like something triggered it, and not feeling worthy and just like struggling with those low vibrational thoughts and feeling like stuck. And that's exactly where I was. And then she started to talk about how we keep ourselves stuck because we allow ourselves to tell ourselves this story as if it's true. Our old stories, right? Of I'm not worthy, I'm not smart enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, I don't know enough. All of these things, like, we keep ourselves stuck, right? And during that Mars and Chiron conjunction, it was a huge, like, really, it's meant to be a huge release for us to let go of our old stories, like really confront them. Are they true anymore? Are they really true anymore, or is it what we tell ourselves? When we tell ourselves that we're not smart enough, then we're not. The law of attraction and believing in abundance and like all of this stuff, like, we have to remember to practice this. Like, if you say you're not, let's say, okay, if you say things like, people always take advantage of me, I always end up having shitty relationships, like anything like that, like, you're already putting it out there for it to happen. Like, what you think becomes, it's you create your reality. So if you say you're ugly, then okay, then you are, I guess. Like, that's just how it is. So when we are allowing ourselves to revisit these old wounds and these old stories of these things that we tell ourselves, we have to really like consciously choose to shift the way that we think, our belief system. We have to consciously realize we're doing this shit to ourselves, and then consciously shift the way that we're thinking about it. No, that's not true. That's what I'm telling myself to be true, but that's not true. Like, you have to create what you want in life. Instead of saying like people always take advantage of me, we need to take a look at that and think about why we say that, and then we need to dissect it and fix it. So we change it from people always take advantage of me to I've had shitty relationships in the past that have taught me many lessons so that I don't have this problem ever again. I trust myself to go out there and to know whether or not these relationships are good or bad for me. And that's how we unlock ourselves, like, from being blocked and being stuck in the same shitty stuff. We're going to attract these same things that we've been dealing with, these problems that we've been dealing with. We're going to attract the same stuff over and over and over again until we decide to learn the lesson and we decide to shift the way that we think about things. She described this as that we always have, like, we're always gonna have these feelings come up, and that we need to not hold these like weird expectations on ourselves that there's a specific amount of time that you have to be over something in order to be practicing what you preach. No, these things are going to come up continuously and haunt you, and you're going to have to always remember to be mindful, to fix it, to change the way that you think about these things so they don't continue to manifest in your life. And it's like, I know these things, but I just needed someone to remind me. And also, what I came to realize is that you can be a student and a teacher all at the same time. And that's something I preach. So I have to remember also to practice these things. That you should never stop being a student. You should continue to evolve and progress. Otherwise, what are you doing here in life? What are you learning? And so that was a great realization, like, to stop beating myself up. We're either going to do the blame game where we blame ourselves and beat ourselves up, or we become a victim where everyone is hurting us, everyone's out to get us, people always take advantage of us. So it's important for us to let those feelings come in and acknowledge them, stare them in the face, and then let them go. And they might come up later. Like, this is also something I practice. I tell people all the time, and I really believe it to be true. And I really believe that we need to move this way as a spiritual community. Instead of spiritually bypassing and denying things, we need to learn to acknowledge what's bothering us and sit with it and ask what we need to learn from it, and then release it. Not dwell on it every day, all day, and beat ourselves up. You're either gonna be a victim or you're gonna like sit there and beat yourself up. Allow those feelings to come, allow those feelings to pass, and thank yourself. Here's where gratitude comes in, which I know is hard. Thank yourself for having those low vibrational thoughts, because at one point they kept you safe. And after those incidents, they reminded you to help you keep you safe from that happening again. So it's important for us to remember to have gratitude for those lessons, and then to believe that we're not going to go through them again, because we are ready for something better. These things are always going to come back to haunt you. Chiron is the planet that's like the wounded healer, so it's like past life stuff too. Like, these problems are going to continue on until you break the karmic bonds. So you need to attract the things that you want and not the things that you don't want. I know that you guys are also dealing with some murkiness, some, issues with self-worth, not feeling good enough. And I know that a bunch of you are also going through some really hard times. A lot of people are dying, like so much death and rebirth right now going on, because, like, metaphorically speaking and literally speaking, things are dying in our lives. And it is for a reason, even though it feels really horrible and hard. We are all like one. Again, we are all one. We are all in sync with each other, even though it's different. We are all going through similar things. And I know that a lot of you are going through issues of self-worth, not feeling good enough, holding on tightly to old situations, and it's keeping you stuck. You're not able to move forward. You're not able to get the things you want. You're stuck in these hard lessons. And I know that you guys really need to hear these messages. This is my story to help you. Hi, cutie. Say hi. This is my story to help you guys. This is my story to help you guys. To remind you guys to do the same thing in your life. To manifest what you want, and to stop accidentally attracting the same situations that have caused you so much pain and hardship. With all these planets in retrograde, it has really made us revisit, revise, rearrange so many things in our lives, and it's still continuing to happen. And I know that you all are going through such similar things, and that's why this message from my life is so important for you guys as well. So again, thank your past self for the lessons that you learned. And now take those lessons and go create your new life. Make sure that you say out loud what you want. Your spirit guides and your angels are there to watch out for you and protect you. So say the things out loud that you do want. Speak those things into existence and really truly believe in it. And when you say these things, say them as they are, as if they are. So instead of being like, I want to be an astrologist, I say, I am an astrologist. I am a spiritual teacher and leader. I am young, but I am born with a lot of wisdom to help heal the world. Now it's your turn. Thanks, guys.